All right, we're live.
Now we're all scared. We're not going to say anything.
Yeah, right? Welcome to the October 27th meeting of the Newcastle Board of Aviation Commissioners. Roll call, Don Cummings.
Present.
Tom Green.
Present.
Paul Jansen.
Here.
Corey Murphy's present. And then we have John Marlatt, Airport Manager.
Present.
Nikki Adme from CHA.
Present.
And Mayor Greg York.
Here.
All right. You have two sets of meeting minutes that were sent out. You have the meeting from July 14th, 2025. You also have the meeting minutes from August 13th of 2025. I'll give you a chance to review those, and then I'll entertain a motion for both of them unless there are edits or concerns.
Make motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Got a motion from Paul and a second from Tom. Any further discussion on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Not on the agenda, but I handed it out to you, is an up-to-date financial kind of report. And so it looks like this. This is a printout from the city's accounting software. And so it shows all the transactions from January through October 22nd. And so the first document is front and back, printed front and back. You did not get this electronically. I just handed it out right before the meeting. And so I just wanted to point out that the balance in our fund is $209,891.46. When you see Henry County Treasurer, so I've dropped to the very last transaction on 10/23. I asked and sent documentation to the city clerk treasurer to send the treasurer $138.17. That's our local match on a pay app. And then I wanted to point out another transaction for you. 8/28. So August 28th, 2025, bottom third of the page. Henry County Auditor, $45,000. You all with me? So Nikki and I, we claimed the remaining special grant funds that were made available to airports through and as a result of COVID. There were several different names. We had 3 grants that we could draw down, and this represents the $45,000 is really 2 payments. It's 2 grant payments, but that represents all 3 grants that were special or unique. In other words, one-time deals because of the federal government's response to COVID and thereafter. So I just wanted to point that out, and so that will help us as we move forward and consider other things down the line.
But that's a one-time shot.
It's a one-time shot.
It's done. It's over now.
Correct.
Did we have to claim that by the end of the year?
We met the deadline. The deadline was actually
September?
well, no, it was
Oh, sometime before that.
yes.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was early.
On one of them, we came in.
That's just when it showed up?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Her and I filed the paperwork by the hair of our chinny chin chin.
But we got it.
Oh, we got it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that's really for information. Any questions on this? And I'll update, so at the last meeting, and I know it's been a while, I put together kind of a planning document. I'll either use this month or I'll wait a month and I'll do some more work on, here's what I think we're gonna spend next year in this category and that category, and we can kind of plan out our projects.
Alright.
To make this 209,000 meaningful. How far will that go?
What did we pay Bryce and Jeff and Rents work for?
We
The
fixed,
car.
we fixed the
Okay.
car.
I assumed it was.
needing some love.
Yeah, it did.
New tires, could we put new tires?
Yeah, it that's
When they
good.
got service was out too. Yeah,
Okay, good.
going into winter.
Yep. No, it needed it a little bit.
Item number 3 on the agenda, operations and agreements after's in bold. So after our property acquisition. So I reported to you via email that the FAA and NDOT have agreed to fund our property acquisitions. So I have, on your behalf, I've signed all of the federal grant agreements. And then we're waiting on the state, right?
Correct.
They've indicated it's coming, we're just waiting on the documents. And so John and I have been talking, there needs to be a discussion on what the operations out there look like once the board owns all of the buildings. And so I'm looking for 2 volunteers to work with John and Jeff on that and come back to the board with a recommendation. And here are some items that I think need to be talked about and decided. Once we own it, meaning the board, we want them to continue to operate it. But do they pay rent? Or do they just cover the operational expense and we charge them no rent? We'll need to insure it because it's ours. They'll need to probably add us to their liability insurance. So just issues like that.
Well, we're already paying liability insurance on it.
We're not on the buildings, we're not.
What are we paying it?
Just the airport in general.
Yeah, for deer. Yeah, some stuff like that. Yeah, and we're gonna have to figure out how you wanna go about collecting. The hangar rent will be yours then,
Well, the
obviously.
hangar rent, the fuel.
And then how we're gonna do the fuel.
So
Will we own the fuel tanks at
We
that
will.
time?
You own the fuel tank, so I would say you'd want a part of that.
Yeah, but we still need to pay you to,
Yeah, we need to figure out.
Yeah, that's the flowage fee. And
We had put a flowage fee on it where
that's
you collect part of it and we collect part of it, but how we're gonna do the hangar rents as far as, do we collect the hangar rents and then pay you, or do you wanna collect them and, there's.
how do people pay now? Direct deposit or do they?
No,
You said
we send one invoice each month and they pay us, so.
hopefully.
Yeah, I got one actually I got 2. I got 2 that I'm gonna have to,
Bug them.
I have been bugging them. I think I'm gonna have to do more than that.
Would you rather that go through the clerk's office?
I'll do it any way you wanna do it. I think, we're responsible for these 2 that I gotta get caught up, but once we get them caught up, we'll talk about however you wanna do that from that point on.
Well, everybody's sitting here. Keith's not here, so there's the first one. No, you can't. We'll volunteer Keith. No, I didn't see anybody raise your hands, but I got all the confidence in the world. These 3 been around it forever, so.
Yeah, I only need 2 of you. So you guys want to play a game of straws?
Who draws the shortest straw?
Well, November 5th, I'm having my right knee replaced.
Oh, so you'll be able to spend a lot of time out
So I'm gonna be out of circulation for a while.
Okay.
I'll help.
Okay.
I'd be glad to help, but I don't know, I'm not sure I know all the issues, and I don't know what the city has available if we even want to go that route. I mean, I just, maybe there's some larger questions that we'll need to root out.
Okay.
Does it have to be somebody on the board?
Didn't have to be somebody on the board, no.
I was gonna say I can look into some of it for you and
Okay.
give some recommendations
I mean,
of just what some of the options are. if you
My
want.
approach was to hope to make it as simple as possible, but comprehensive. Because the roles are changing a little bit.
There's
But we're gonna get them signed up for
there's
another
a lot
10
of
years of
operations
operating.
around that are similar.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be that, I don't think that'll be that tricky.
All right, Tom's gonna take the lead with Nikki's help.
And I'll be available for what the city can do.
I'll help you, Tom.
Let me make a couple notes here. 10 years, no, wrong. Tom, Paul, and Nikki. John, your report?
Don't really have anything to report, actually, nothing on the septic, haven't seen or heard anybody there other than talking to the mayor.
I've got him all the information he needs on size and everything, and he supposedly is supposed to have it turned into the state, but
Really good opportunities to put in a septic. I mean, the weather has just been fantastic.
yeah, I can't see it happening real quick.
Yeah, so, other than that, everything's just been running pretty smoothly. I mean, they come out and did he called it a triennial inspection on the AWAS that you guys are paying on the service agreement,
Who
so,
did?
DBT.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been getting any bills for that, that's supposed to be so much a year, but
Got one in 24.
yeah, I don't know what's happened, and still nothing with IU Health on switching the ownership over. I ding them every once in a while. I figure I'm doing my part by bringing it up, and if they want to continue in the way it is, I don't think it's bothering anybody here. I mean, I am bringing it up whenever I see or talk to the right people, and they say, well, they're working on it. They say their legal department's slow, so.
It's been a while, but how was the fly-in?
Flying was good. We had probably as good, maybe our best turnout, maybe overall. I mean, we had perfect weather, and I had I think the car show had like 101 or 102 cars. That was the last count. I didn't hear a final count. They
Was the
said.
bridge open then?
No. And that's what I thought that would really, really hurt us, and I didn't expect a big turnout, and then we had a big turnout. We had a real good turnout. So
think
even
enough
with the
people-
bridge out,
yeah,
does
enough people
anybody
found out
know
how to
any
get
more
there
than what
with
I've
the
read in
bridge being
paper
out?
about the bridge? Other than it's not fixable and there's going to be a new one. I
That's-
have heard that part. haven't
That's
you?
pretty much right.
2031?
No. No.
If they go federal aid, it could be 2031, but I think the county's trying to figure out how to get it done faster.
Okay.
Okay,
But it's a-
that I haven't.
But
heard.
it's a money issue.
Yeah, it is
all
money. I
If
heard
they
that-
wait on the feds, that's where the 2031 comes in.
Yeah.
If they can find the money and not depend on the feds, it'll be a little bit faster, but it is not an overnight process.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
it'd probably gonna be 28 if they find it another way.
And they won't reopen it with the weight limit?
Not sure.
Okay.
Where
Last
it's,
I heard.
where it's damaged is quite the conundrum for them.
And they're worried that if they did open it with a weight limit, it's gonna get exceeded and there's no way to monitor it. And
It won't be
And
that
it
truck
just-
that gets it, but
The next
my
one.
car that goes over it the next.
Right.
It will
Yeah.
be exceeded, I can tell. That's what I told one guy.
Oh, it
at the
will be
county.
exceeded.
I said,
That
if
would-
you open it up, it's gonna get
Yeah.
exceeded, because not only the local farmers, but when 70 closes,
they all
they come down
down.
that road all the time, and
Yeah.
you'll have those semis off 70 going through there too, and I'm sure they're not gonna say, oh, I need to turn around. So,
Pretty hard to there.
yeah, they've already found that out when they've come up through there, and the road's been closed and they have to back up for a long way. So I hear there's actually two different split long ways plus the ends, so it's gonna be it would be a hard fix, I think. So, yeah. I have a lot of people ask me, and I just tell them, they're gonna have to replace it, so.
I know you probably talked about this 2 meetings ago. I know we've talked about it. I just can't remember what we talked about. we decided not to do the striping until we got the cracks fixed. And did they come and fix the cracks?
Yes, they got the cracks,
How
and
are the cracks?
they did a nice job.
Good.
They did a
Good.
nice job, yes. And I think we got the bill for that too.
Yep.
Yep, so, but they did they spent 2.5 days there, and I know he said, I was expecting the bill to be higher because he said they used quite a bit more sealant than they thought, because they had to go back and get some, more than he estimated. And I thought he would try that, but he didn't. He stuck with his quote, so.
Good.
But they
So
didn't.
now our frame of mind is we'll have it striped next spring.
Now next
Maybe.
year's what I.
Will,
I
during
have-
her
yeah, I have
report,
updates for that.
Okay, all right.
that's gonna play
Sorry.
into that a little bit. No, you're fine.
Nope, good.
Anything else, John?
No, I think that's it.
Item 5, you can see the invoices there and pay applications for approval / ratification. The reason why I'm saying ratification, if you all have already approved the work, I'm not holding the invoice until we meet, right? It's unfair to our vendors, so that's why I've listed the either approval / ratification. So, any questions regarding those invoices listed out?
Make motion for approval or ratification.
I've got a motion from Paul. Is there a second?
Second.
I got a second from Don. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. I went out of order, so I've already talked about number 6. And Nikki, I'm going to take care of 7A and B for you.
Okay, I was going to say, I didn't bring copies of those invoices where I had sent them
So I
prior.
need approval for 7A, which is the pay request number 2, in the amount of $5,526.84. Our local share is $138.17. And then CHA has 2 invoices paid locally, and you can see there, you can see the amounts there. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion from Don, a second from Tom. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Floor is yours.
Okay. So we'll just start out with the grant administration, ACIPs, and DVE. So for grant closeouts, like I said, those for 25 and 26, which were both related to the ALP updated narrative report, which is close to completion, those had been previously submitted. The federal payments have been received. We are waiting on payments from the state pending ALP review. So we have the ALP with the state right now. They're doing some initial review. Once they've had a chance to finish their side of the review process, then they'll be sending the state payments. Like Corey said, there's been grant agreements that have been received. So you have 3 grant agreements that were received in September. 2 of them were associated with the land acquisition, and then 1 was for the design and bid associated with the rehabilitation of Taxway Alpha 2. And then again, we're waiting for the state grant agreements to come through, but we have word from the state that those will be issued fairly soon. We'll be doing the annual grant performance reports. Those will be due December 31st. So I'll be sending those as well as the federal financial reports to Corey for him to sign. There's no action involved as far as payments or anything with those reports. It's just basically providing the FAA with an overall snapshot of what all of your open grants are and what activity has occurred on the grants this past fiscal year. So it's really just a summary. And then we have the ACIP, or the Airport Capital Improvement Plan. That is due December 1st. Do you want me to go ahead and go through? Okay. So I have a separate sheet that I provided, and that has a snapshot. This is not the full ACIP. I just provided a summary of what the funds are looking like. So this CIP will cover 2026 through 2031. it includes for 2026, you will see that I added in here, to go back to what the mayor had asked about, with a restriping runway pavement markings. So the state, they've not officially put out the notice yet, but I was at an Aviation Indiana conference a couple weeks ago, and they said that they'll be issuing information soon, but there's going to be some new state funding that's coming available for projects in 2026. And the funding, it'd be up to 75% state match and then 25% local, but it's for pavement improvement projects. So it could include things like crack sealing, restriping. It could be the material to do such projects, the actual work itself, or even equipment to be able to do that work. And so I went ahead and I revisited the quotes that you had been provided and looked at just the runway, because I know that was one of the larger topics of discussion, is the striping on the runway. And the middle quote was around $56,000. So if we were to proceed with that and you were able to get that grant funding, then that would bring that to about $42,000 state, and then only have $14,000 as a local share rather than that full $56,000 that you were initially looking at. One caveat is it is a competitive grant, so if you apply, you're not guaranteed the money, but projects such as that would compete fairly well with that money if that's something that you would want to pursue.
Is any of that federal money?
No, it's strictly a state program. So like I said, they're right now looking at up to 75% funding, and then the other 25 would be local. So there's not as many stipulations either when you start going from the state side. There's a few different requirements than what they have federal. It's not as strict on some of it. But like I said, if you could do more than just the runway. You could do runways and taxiway. We'd have to look more again, like what all the quotes were. For the purpose of this conversation, I went ahead and just put the runway in there. But if you were doing more crack sealing next year, you could include that. So you can include multiple items within the grant. But I went ahead for now and I put the runway as just a placeholder on here. Then for 2027, based on conversations that we had this year with NDOT and with FAA, based on the money that was received for the land acquisitions, that puts the construction to rehab Alpha 2 in 2027. And so that would use the remainder of your IIJA, or previously known as bill funding, and then a portion of your AIP funds, with the remainder of those rolling over. So you can see what that breakdown is there. 2028, I kept the surface treatment of the existing pavement in there. That would use the remainder of your entitlements that were carried over from 27, as well as the full 2028 entitlement, and then would include a request for state apportionment. If the state apportionment was denied, then that would probably then push that project to 2029. So that depends on what the state funding availability is. And then for future placeholders, we had land acquisition for approaches, and then we had some miscellaneous building, which is such as hangars, when you get into like 2030, 2031.
Okay, if you could try to get ahead of the game and ask this question.
Yeah.
In construction, I don't know anybody that's holding prices for over 10 days anymore.
Right.
What if with tariffs, and I mean, we just don't know what's going on now. Mm-hmm. What if the pricing that we've estimated here goes up by 25 to 30%? Will there be more funding if the price goes up considerably?
So when the application process isn't going to open, I don't think until probably about June of next year, the grants can be for up to a state share of up to $100,000. So we have we'd have up to $100,000 of state funds to kind of look at and work with potentially. So what we would do is when that timing would get closer, and once the state has officially put out what the exact details of the notice. Like I said, they've like kind of done this, what I'm calling like a soft launch, but the full details of the grant will come out closer, probably in the spring or early summer, and then we could go out and probably like do a rebid to see what those are, and then if it comes back, like I said, the 100,000, that would be at 75%. So you can do up to, like I said, 100,000 of state share for your request. So anything up to that amount is kind of what that threshold is. So that's one of the reasons that I looked at just the runway for now, because like I said, that was at 56,000. So I figured like even if it increases, it would likely still fall within that range with crack ceiling too.
Go ahead, I'll let you go first.
Well, no, go ahead.
Number one, I'm all the other grants in all the other parts of the state, as far as Okra and as far as other areas, right now, everybody's, because nobody knows what the governor's doing or is going to do, everybody's finger is just squeezed tight. Just, I'm hoping that FAA has some top priority.
This is a safe program.
That this is, I know, that's why, but I'm not too sure he wouldn't change it if he had the chance to get his hands on it. So I hope that there's some top priority in this. This is locked in, and but it still concerns me about. I'm tickled to death that these figures are locked in, and there's up to. But the scary part right now is the material and holding those prices. So we just hang on, I guess.
One of the questions for the pilots and for John, can we wait until the end of 26 to restripe the runway?
It's getting pretty
It's pretty thin,
thin would be.
but I suppose it would really matter.
I would really like to see it done by the end of 26. I mean,
So we can apply for the grant, this new grant, and if we don't get it, maybe we go ahead and use our local funds to get it done. That's what I couldn't answer her when we were talking about it. I said I need input from the pilots and the, because this is new money, this is a new opportunity, but there's no guarantee.
Right.
And then if you look further down the CIP, well, we're going to do a full surface treatment, or at least we want to do a full surface treatment in 28.
yeah,
It's going to kind of have a negative impact on the paint.
And so we'd be doing it again as a part of that program.
that's a good reason to only do the runway.
Yeah.
One, the striping on the taxiway is a little bit better than the runway, and it's not as important too. But I don't know what you guys think about waiting till 28 for the runway. It's getting.
Yeah, I don't know that you could get all the way to 28 with it. What will happen is you could get an inspector to come out and go, you're going to have to do something about it now.
Well, this is just my 2 cents worth, but I feel like FAA started cooperating more with us when we started putting more skin in the game. If we just did the striping and paid for it ourselves, I feel like the next time they look at the grant that they see somebody that's trying to help themselves instead of just always asking for money is my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, I would say at least do the runway at whatever the earliest you can do it, because it's not much now.
No, it's pretty thin.
Yeah, I would rather do the runway even if we have to pay for it ourselves.
So the earliest that we would get the money on this grant, if it's approved, is probably the fall of 20, probably a year from now.
Probably close to. Let me see if it. Hold on, I have the notes there on my phone though.
So we might as well
From the
wait
meeting.
and see if we can get something from
Is
the
it-
program.
Is it soon enough?
Well,
You can land on that runway. It's
Yeah.
what Tom just said.
Yeah.
If somebody shows up,
Okay.
yeah, we go some. Don does too. We go to some runways, you go,
Oh, yeah.
oh, it hasn't been painted for 20 years. You go,
Yeah.
You got
you
weeds
can
growing
barely
in the
find
cracks
the, you can barely find the numbers, let
Yeah,
alone the center line.
it's not, I mean, it's not the end of the world, don't get
Okay.
me wrong.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's been a lot worse.
Is there any, yes,
yeah, it doesn't say when the
Okay.
is
And
there,
if-
awards will.
If the
rolling
inspectors
out,
so
yeah.
far that have been out there haven't said anything, like, you guys are gonna have to do that next year.
I'm surprised they haven't, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know the last 2 years. I don't know if there's been anybody out
So,
there or not.
Yeah.
What happened?
There was
with the-
somebody there maybe 2 years ago, but I don't know.
Well,
They
also-
get, they just, they send you a letter that says this
To
has
address
gotta
it.
be done. Huh?
To address it. They
Yes,
send you a
and
letter.
they, yeah, and I don't know that they've ever given us a specific time period, but they've said to address it or send them a letter saying how you're gonna address it and when it's gonna be
And you
addressed.
can usually drag those out for
Yeah,
6
and
to
you can
9
drag
months.
it. I mean, they aren't gonna just say, no, nobody can land here anymore. I mean,
Was the
unless it's-
26,000 for the taxiway and the runway, or was that just the run?
56,000.
That
That's
was
runway.
just, that's just the
56,000.
runway.
The
And-
56.
Yeah.
And then, one note, it says they can do it like as a reimbursement. So if you guys.
That's what I was gonna
Yes,
ask.
if you guys end up doing, the work, and then if you're going to do it anyways, then you can go ahead and apply for the grant as a
Yeah,
potentially a
that's what I was
reimbursement.
gonna
So then you're
Yeah.
not having to wait on it.
So
if
maybe
you're
we
gonna
bid
do
it in the
anyways.
spring,
Yeah, you can do that.
bid it in the spring, do it in the summer, file for the grant.
And
Yeah,
I think
That
what I'll
sounds
do.
reasonable.
For the CIP, I think I'll go ahead and I'm gonna take that 56,000, and I think I'm gonna have Renji. He's the one that I've been working with on some of the cost estimates. I'm gonna have us relook at the surface treatment and some of those just to see if there's if I need to bump anything up, just because, like you were saying, with inflation and different things like that. So I'll do that, and then Corey, I can send you. I'll plan on next week sending you more updated numbers
Okay.
So
that you
Nikki
can
does
send to
the-
the board. And then, do we need to have a formal board meeting for you to then approve the updated numbers after I give them to you?
Is everyone comfortable looking at this spreadsheet? Is everyone comfortable with the general description of the projects and the order of the projects? If we're good there, then I would just ask for a motion to authorize my signature to file the paperwork.
And like I said, I'll send you the updated numbers that you can still distribute to the board
Sure.
for a final look before you sign anything.
Couple questions. One, the 400 in 2028, the runway surface treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Does that include painting?
No, that does not include
Okay.
paint.
So it's the 50s and whatever dollars these are, it's the 56,000 again.
Yeah, I started to say, when you do the runway treatment, you might as well include the
Might as well
restriping.
add it.
Just go ahead. I don't think,
Yeah.
at least I don't think that includes it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll,
it needs to be included.
Because
let
that's
me,
improvement.
let
I
me
mean,
grab hold on, I have the cost breakdown right here. Let me look at it. One moment.
And the second question is acquiring the land for
Oh, it might be
approaches.
included because it looks like there's a couple.
Does that need to be in
Sorry.
that year, or can it, I mean, I would rather have hangars before buying approaches, a property for approaches.
I agree with that.
Can we switch?
Which ones? I'm sorry.
We're more interested in doing a hangar than we are
Yeah.
acquiring land for the approaches.
I agree.
Yep, we can switch those. And I misspoke when I looked up the costs, and it looks like the markings for the runway and taxiways is included in that seal coat.
Okay,
Good.
hmm
all right.
But like I said, I'm gonna have our engineering team, our design team, kind of look at that just to see if, like I said, that's based on what we had provided previously. So I'm gonna see if there's any slight changes or anything, and I'll get those numbers over to Corey.
And
But I at least wanted to get a general list over to you guys today to
Refresh
begin
my
the
memory on the
discussions.
rollover of the NPE.
Mhm.
How much is that?
So you get an allocation of 150,000.
Okay.
And so you'll see in 2026, I don't have you using any. So that means in 27, you technically would have 300,000 entitlement available to you.
Is that used here then?
So in 2027, it shows using around 242,000 of that 300. And so the rest of those would then get rolled
So
over.
NPE is entitlement funds?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the non-primary entitlement, correct.
Okay. Is there any way to move the hangar earlier?
Probably not in
23rd.
front of the maintenance on the runway.
Okay. All right.
And like I said, I'll look at next week having the updated numbers over to Corey. That way he can send it to you, and I'll update this screenshot with those numbers. And when I do that, I'll include those two projects flipped.
So you want a motion to approve it with the changes
Yeah.
made?
I'll still share it to you, share it with you for your
Okay.
information, but I don't think it's necessary
To meet.
to meet.
Yeah. Well, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second to authorize my signature on the CIP for submittal to NDOT and the FAA on or before December 1st of this year. Any questions regarding the motion? We'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Alright.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
No, so we can come up with a different funding source on the hangars.
Any other business to come before the commission? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, we're adjourned.